founded El Clasificado in 1988 as a Spanish-language home-delivered classified shopper for Los Angeles, modeled after the penny saver but tweaked for the Latino audience. But we didn't tweak it enough because El Clasificado just did not work. Yes, there was a recession, but that wasn't really the problem. In retrospect, we weren't flexible, innovative, and nimble. But most of all, we really didn't know our audience and how to reach them effectively. We struggled and tinkered with the business model for years. And then, as we were about to give up, we stopped the home delivery program and began a haphazard bulk rack delivery system. Bingo! Advertisers started getting results and our retention rate started improving. We didn't quite understand why, but we just kept doing it. My husband and co-founder, Joe Badami, could not believe what our records were showing. 800 copies were getting picked up at one grocery store alone. Joe, auditor that he was, parked by the same store for several days, and yes, the magazines were not getting stolen or thrown away. El Clasificado was getting picked up and getting into the hands of our target audience. This was the answer to our business model. We learned that our niche audience loves going to the grocery store more than once a week, often walks to the store and shops as a family event. This was contrary to our business plan and contrary to what our advertisers said they wanted, but it was the reality of our reader persona. So we went from a home-delivered publication to a bulk drop shopper. Joe was inspired and began to build the distribution infrastructure that now, in 2012, supports 38 weekly zones and over 22,000 distribution drops from the Mexican border to Fresno, California. In 2000, Joe came on full board, took over the distribution, IT, and most of the accounting. We hired a sales manager, and I needed to reinvent myself. After years of just trying to survive, I now had to become strategic, visionary, and innovative. We weren't a mom-and-pop shop anymore. We needed to institutionalize our strengths, jump over our obstacles, and overcome our weaknesses. We needed leadership. Well, I realized I didn't know how to be a CEO of a mildly successful company with lots of potential. During this period of self-realization, I got an invitation from an organization called the AFCP to join them for a conference on sales and leadership at the Ritz-Carlton in Phoenix. The cost was $99. I thought, this cannot be a real Ritz-Carlton. But the price was right. I needed leadership training, and I wanted to show support to our new sales manager, so we went to Phoenix. After attending my first AFCP conference, I became a transformed classified media publisher. The many insights from case studies affirmed what El Clasificado was doing right, enlightened us on what we were doing poorly, and made us aware of what we didn't know. But most valuable was the sales and management training sessions that showed us how to train our sales staff and leaders to optimize our real assets, the human capital of El Clasificado, our employees. Carlos Guzman and Orestes Baez immediately introduced themselves to me and were engaging, inviting, and inspirational. At lunch, I was seated next to Pete Gorman, the president of the Penny Saver at the time. Once he recognized our publication, Pete said to me,
I have several copies of El Clasificado on my desk, and we are either going to become friends or I'm going to kill you.
He was kidding, of course. Elaine Buckley and Rob Zarelli put me on the edge of my seat when they gave their sales training presentations. But most important of all, I met Peter Lamb, who soon came to visit us. He consulted, tutored, mentored, forced us to think bigger and optimize opportunities, especially our classified opportunities with contests and key performance metrics. Because of AFCP, the sharing of ideas, sales and leadership training, El Clasificado began a new upward trajectory. We now happily send several of our sales reps, managers, and Rising Star employees each year to AFCP and the Leadership Institute, and they return energized to step up as leaders and build the team of the future El Clasificado. Thank you, AFCP. In 2006, my old classified media mentor and buddy, Jack Humphreyville, finally got me to attend an ICMA conference in Munich. I went because I wanted to visit Europe. We had fun, but once the conference started, I had a non-stop headache from the enlightening education ICMA provided. In 2006, I had heard rumors that print was dying. Craigslist and Kijiji were killing the classified business, and the internet was no longer a fun new way to explore websites, but a growing competitor that might put papers like El Clasificado out of business. I knew this would happen someday. But at ICMA, I realized it was already happening and we better do something about it. Learning about new classified ideas, innovations, digital marketing tools, competition from Google, SEO, SEM, AdWords, AdSense were hurting my brain. But with programs like Sharing Best Practices, expert speakers, the Business Leaders Forum, publisher case studies, new technology vendors, and especially the collaborative informal meetings and insights at the After Hours Bar,
3/4 light dress,
made the education enjoyably digestible. El Clasificado, the shopper with a website that could not be found and was not much more than an online media kit, is now the flagship of a multi-platform media company. We serve the U.S. Hispanic market with print that is still growing, events that enhance customer relations and generate national ad revenues. Because of what we have learned from ICMA, we now have a principal website that ranks among the top 10,000 websites in the United States. Thank you, ICMA. We're no longer El Clasificado, a classified shopper. Now we are EC Hispanic Media, a multi-platform media company serving the needs that our audience tells us they want, when they want it, and on their terms. But I am back here today because our industry is constantly emerging, and I really don't know what to do next with mobile, social media, email marketing, new technology, and data management. Let's have a great conference. And if you like this one in Atlanta, then please join us again for our winter conference in Istanbul, Turkey, starting on November 7th.